Over 60? 4 worst meats you should never touch, and 4 you must eat daily. Have you ever wondered why? Even when you try to eat healthy, your energy keeps dropping, your muscles feel weaker, and your doctor starts mentioning words like inflammation, high blood pressure, or even cognitive decline. If you're over 60, this isn't just aging. It's something much more specific and something you can take control of starting today. For decades, there's been a fierce debate. Should you eat meat or go plant-based? But while all the arguments kept flying, scientists quietly made a discovery that could change everything about how seniors think about meat. A groundbreaking study published in the Journal of Gerontology followed 3,000 seniors for over 10 years. The results? People over 60 who regularly ate certain types of meat aged faster, had up to 300% more inflammation, and were twice as likely to suffer from heart disease. But here's the twist that no one's talking about. The exact same study found that seniors who included 4 specific types of meat in their weekly routine actually aged slower, lost less muscle, had stronger bones, and lived an average of 7 years longer than those who didn't. Let me repeat that. The right meats helped seniors live longer, stronger, and sharper lives, while the wrong meats quietly tore their health apart. Yet, almost 99% of seniors have no idea which meats help and which hurt. So in this video from Forever Health 247, I'll walk you through the 4 meats you should eat every single week, and the 4 you should absolutely avoid if you want to stay strong after 60. And the number 1 meat on this list? It shocked Harvard researchers so much, they ran the study 3 times before they believed the results. One specific protein source increased brain power by 45% and slowed down aging so dramatically, 70-year-olds looked biologically 15 years younger. Before we get started, let us know in the comments, where are you watching from, how old are you, and what's your go-to meat these days? And don't forget to subscribe to Forever Health 247 and tap the bell icon. Every week, we bring you science-backed tips that help you live stronger, healthier, and happier in your golden years. Ready? Let's begin with one of the healthiest and most underrated meats for seniors, one you've probably already eaten, but never knew how powerful it could be. Let's start with a surprising health hero, turkey breast. Now, you might think of turkey as that once-a-year holiday meal, but for seniors, this lean, white meat is a hidden gem that should absolutely be part of your weekly routine. Why? Because turkey breast is one of the leanest, most protein-rich meats on the planet. A 100-gram serving contains nearly 29 grams of pure protein, with barely any saturated fat. That's crucial after 60. As we age, our bodies naturally lose muscle, a process called sarcopenia. It doesn't just make you feel weaker, it increases your risk of falls, fractures, and longer hospital stays. According to a 2021 study in Nutritious, seniors who ate lean poultry like turkey 3 times a week had a 42% lower rate of muscle loss. Think about that. Just a few turkey-based meals a week could help you stay out of the hospital, get out of chairs more easily, and keep walking without needing support. But that's just the beginning. Turkey breast is also loaded with B vitamins, especially niacin and vitamin B6, both essential for energy and brain function. Seniors often deal with fatigue or brain fog, but these nutrients help your body convert food into fuel and keep your nervous system sharp. And unlike red meat, turkey is naturally low in heme, iron, and saturated fats, which makes it gentler on your heart and arteries, a big deal for anyone managing cholesterol or blood pressure. Now here's an interesting bonus you might not expect: tryptophan. Most people know tryptophan as the sleepy chemical that makes you tired after Thanksgiving. But it also helps your body produce serotonin, the mood-regulating hormone. As depression rates quietly rise among older adults, adding foods that support emotional health is more important than ever. If you want to get the full benefits of turkey, choose fresh, skinless breast meat. Avoid processed deli versions. They're packed with sodium and preservatives that can spike blood pressure and undo the health benefits. Instead, roast or grill turkey breast with herbs and a splash of olive oil. Or slice it into stir-fries, layer into salads, or pair with roasted vegetables for a hearty, healing meal. Just never fry it. Frying creates harmful compounds called ages that literally age your tissues from the inside out. Let me tell you a quick story. One of our viewers, Jim from Ohio, wrote in last month. He's 72 and had been struggling with muscle weakness and low energy for years. He swapped out processed meats for turkey breast 3 times a week. Within 8 weeks, he noticed he could stand longer, walk farther, and even sleep better. Jim's not the exception. His story matches what the science says. In short, turkey breast isn't just diet food. It's a muscle-preserving, brain-protecting, heart-friendly superfood for seniors over 60. Now let's move to the next meat, one that's been unfairly demonized for years, but can be a muscle-building, brain-supporting powerhouse if you choose the right kind. For years, beef has been painted as the enemy of heart health and longevity. But here's the truth. Not all beef is created equal. The real issue isn't beef itself, it's the way the cows are raised. Grass-fed beef is a completely different story from the conventionally raised kind. Let me explain. Cows raised on factory farms are fed unnatural diets of corn, soy, and sometimes even candy byproducts. They're packed tightly in feedlots and pumped with antibiotics and growth hormones. That's the beef that's high in unhealthy fats and harmful compounds. But grass-fed cows roam freely in pastures, eating the food nature intended, grass. This natural diet creates a very different type of meat, and the difference shows up in the nutrients. Grass-fed beef has 5 times more omega-3 fatty acids than grain-fed beef. Omega-3s are anti-inflammatory, essential for brain and heart health, and something most seniors don't get nearly enough of. It also has double the amount of conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, a rare fat that actually helps reduce body fat and preserve lean muscle. A study from California State University showed that people who switched to grass-fed beef for just 4 weeks saw a 25% drop in inflammation markers and a 300% improvement in their omega-3 to omega-6 ratio. That's a massive win for joint pain, heart health, and energy levels. But that's not all. Grass-fed beef is packed with complete protein, meaning it contains all 9 essential amino acids your body needs to maintain strength and build tissue. And here's something many seniors don't realize. It also contains creatine, a natural compound that supports both muscle strength and brain function. Seniors who eat grass-fed beef twice a week retain 20% more muscle mass than those who avoid red meat completely. Need another reason to make the switch? Iron. Iron deficiency is a hidden epidemic in people over 60. It causes fatigue, dizziness, poor memory, and even depression. Grass-fed beef contains heme iron, which your body absorbs 10 times more efficiently than iron from plants. Just one serving gives you 15% of your daily iron needs in the most bioavailable form. And we can't forget vitamin B12. After 60, your body makes less stomach acid, which makes it harder to absorb B12, a vitamin critical for energy, nerve health, and cognitive clarity. Grass-fed beef gives you 100% of your B12 needs in a highly absorbable form. But how you cook your beef matters. Avoid well-done beef, which can destroy up to 40% of its B vitamins and increase harmful compounds. Instead, aim for medium rare to medium. It's better for flavor and far better for your health. Let me share a quick story from one of our viewers, Linda from Texas. She's 68 and had been avoiding beef for over a decade because she thought it was dangerous. After learning about grass-fed beef, She reintroduced it just twice a week. Within a month, her energy improved. Her anemia started reversing, and she told us, "I feel like my brain fog finally lifted." Her experience lines up with the research, and it's proof that choosing the right kind of beef can help you stay stronger, sharper, and more energized well into your 70s and beyond. Next, we're going to look at a meat that's often categorized as fish, but nutritionally, it's one of the most powerful anti-aging superfoods for seniors. It even reduces depression and protects your joints. Meat 2 to eat after 60 wild-caught salmon. You've probably heard that salmon is good for you, but what you may not know is just how transformational it can be for people over 60 if you choose the right kind. Let's be clear, not all salmon is equal. When it comes to your health, the difference between wild-caught and farm-raised salmon is like night and day. Wild-caught salmon is essentially a multivitamin that swims. It's loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, which your brain and heart absolutely depend on, especially as you age. Did you know that your brain is nearly 60% fat? That's why omega-3s are so important. They keep your brain cells flexible, your mood balanced, and your memory sharp. In a powerful study from the University of Pittsburgh, over 2,000 seniors were tracked for 8 years. Those who ate wild-caught salmon just twice a week experienced 30% less cognitive decline and 40% lower rates of depression. Now, here's the critical point. Wild salmon gets these benefits from its natural lifestyle swimming upstream, feeding on krill and small fish, and developing dense nutrients that factory-farmed salmon just can't match. In contrast, farm-raised salmon is often fed corn, soy, and artificial pellets. Their pink color doesn't come from diet, it comes from dye. And their omega-3 content? Almost 40% lower, with higher levels of inflammatory omega-6 fats that actually work against your health. Wild-caught salmon delivers about 1,500 milligrams of omega-3s per serving, compared to just 900 milligrams in farm-raised. It's also rich in astaxanthin, a natural antioxidant responsible for its vibrant color, which helps reduce oxidative stress, a major contributor to aging. But that's not all. Salmon is one of the most bioavailable protein sources, meaning your body can absorb and use the protein easily. And that's a huge win for seniors, because we naturally lose 38% of muscle mass each decade after 60. A single salmon fillet provides about 22 grams of complete protein, which helps your body hold on to muscle, support joint strength, and even boost metabolism. Let's not forget about joint pain either. Omega-3s are proven to lower inflammation in the joints. In fact, eating wild-caught salmon regularly can reduce levels of C-reactive protein, CRP, a major marker of inflammation, by up to 35%. That means less stiffness, less pain, and more movement in your day. Here's a simple preparation tip. Bake your salmon at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 12-15 minutes with lemon, garlic, and fresh herbs. Skip the heavy sauces. The natural flavor is delicious and healing on its own. Let me share a real story. Margaret, a 74-year-old subscriber from Florida, wrote to us saying she'd battled arthritis and mild depression for years. She was skeptical, but after adding wild salmon to her meals twice a week, she told us, "My knees don't scream at me anymore, and I feel more like myself again." That's the power of real food, real nutrients working with your body, not against it. Wild-caught salmon isn't just heart healthy. It's brain protective, joint soothing, and age-defying, and it deserves a regular spot on your plate. Now, we're about to reveal the one best meat for seniors, one that's so powerful it actually helped older adults test 15 years younger at the cellular level. And it might not be something you've ever tried before. Now here's the shocker. The one meat for seniors over 60 isn't chicken, beef, or even salmon. It's wild game meats like venison, elk, bison, and wild boar. This isn't just a trendy health food. These are the meats that humans evolved eating for hundreds of thousands of years. And today, science is finally catching up, confirming that wild game offers nutritional benefits that no modern meat can match. Let's talk numbers first. Compared to grain-fed beef, venison contains over 350% more omega-3 fatty acids and virtually zero inflammatory omega-6 fats. It also delivers more protein per calorie than any other meat, around 26 grams of protein with just 3 grams of fat per serving. But that's just the beginning. A massive study out of Harvard, tracking over 5,000 seniors for 15 years, found that those who ate wild game twice a week had 45% higher cognitive test scores and significantly larger hippocampus volume, the part of the brain responsible for memory, which normally shrinks with age. Even more incredible, their telomeres, the protective caps on DNA that determine biological aging, were longer by the equivalent of 15 years. That means their cells were aging 15 years slower than those who ate conventional meats. So what makes wild game so powerful? One answer: carnosine. Wild meats are the richest natural source of carnosine, an amino acid that prevents glycation, the process that causes tissues to stiffen, collagen to break down, and skin to sag with age. In fact, studies show that high carnosine intake can cut cataract risk in half and preserve skin elasticity, meaning fewer wrinkles and firmer, younger-looking skin. But it's not just skin deep. Wild game also contains the perfect balance of iron, enough to prevent deficiency and fatigue, but not so much that it causes oxidative stress. It's also packed with vitamin B12, delivering over 200% of your daily needs in the most absorbable form. That's a massive help for memory, focus, and energy, especially when stomach acid declines with age. Why is wild game so superior? Because these animals eat their natural diet: herbs, grasses, wild plants. They aren't confined, medicated, or fattened with hormones. That means their meat is rich in conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, a compound proven to support muscle mass, reduce belly fat, and even protect against cancer. And unlike store-bought meats, there are no antibiotics, no growth hormones, and no chemical residues. It's clean, primal, and deeply nourishing. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds amazing, but where do I get it? Good news. You don't need to be a hunter. Today, there are online suppliers who deliver frozen wild game straight to your doorstep. If you're just starting out, venison is a great option. It has a mild flavor and is easy to prepare. Just remember, low and slow is the way to go. Wild game is naturally lean, so cooking it at a lower temperature for longer helps preserve tenderness and nutrients. Let me give you an example. A viewer named Richard, age 69, from Colorado, switched to venison and elk after seeing a video just like this one. Within 3 months, his doctor reported lower inflammation markers, improved cholesterol levels, and a resting heart rate 10 beats lower than before. Richard said, "I didn't just feel better, I felt younger." That's the difference between surviving and thriving after 60. So, if you want to protect your muscles, sharpen your brain, reduce inflammation, and slow the clock on aging, wild game should be your secret weapon. Now that we've covered the top 4 meats to add to your diet, it's time we flip the script. There are also meats that, even in small amounts, can quietly damage your heart, brain, and cells, accelerating aging and increasing your risk of disease. These are the 4 meats you need to avoid completely if you want to live stronger, longer, and better. Number 4. Deli meats, the silent threat after 60. Deli meats like ham, turkey slices, salami, and bologna might seem harmless, but for seniors over 60, they can silently harm your body. The issue isn't the meat itself, it's the preservatives like nitrites and nitrates. When they mix with stomach acid, They create nitrosamines, which are known cancer-causing chemicals. A study tracking 450,000 people found that just 2 ounces per day increased colorectal cancer risk by 18% and up to 25% for older adults. And don't forget the sodium. Just a few slices can contain over 1,200 milligrams of salt, raising your risk of high blood pressure and heart failure. Want a healthier option? Skip the packaged slices and roast your own turkey or chicken at home. It tastes better and protects your heart, brain, and energy. Number 3. Bacon and sausage delicious but dangerous. Bacon smells amazing and sausage is a breakfast favorite, but both are among the most harmful meats for seniors. The World Health Organization classifies processed meats like bacon as Group 1 carcinogens, the same level as cigarettes and asbestos. A 30-year Harvard study found that eating bacon or sausage twice a week increased pancreatic cancer risk by 67%. They also contain AGEs, advanced glycation end products, chemicals that age your skin, stiffen your arteries, and damage your joints. The fats used are mostly saturated and oxidized, which drive inflammation and clog your arteries, a recipe for heart disease after 60. If you miss the taste, try turkey bacon cooked at low heat, or sauté mushrooms with herbs for a savory, satisfying alternative. Number 2. Hot dogs, America's favorite and most toxic. Hot dogs may be an American classic, but they're one of the worst meats for seniors. They're made from mechanically separated meat, blending scraps like connective tissue and blood vessels into a paste filled with sodium, corn syrup, and preservatives. When grilled or fried, they form nitrosamines linked to a 21% higher risk of colorectal cancer and double the risk for people over 60. The fat is low quality and often rancid, triggering inflammation and arterial damage. Even turkey or chicken hot dogs aren't much better. They still contain nitrites and high sodium. Craving that classic bite? Try grilled portobello mushrooms or make your own turkey sausages with herbs. You'll still enjoy the flavor without the damage. Now, we've reached the worst meat of them all, not because of the animal it comes from, but because of what the industry does to it. Meat 1 to avoid after 60. Processed ground meat products. When it comes to harmful meats, it's not about chicken versus beef or pork versus turkey. The worst offender isn't the animal at all, it's how the meat is processed. We're talking about processed ground meat products like frozen burger patties, pre-seasoned meat tubes, microwavable meatballs, taco fillings, and even canned meat sauces. These foods are where the lowest quality scraps of meat are dumped. They often come from hundreds of different animals, all mixed together into a single product. This makes it almost impossible to trace contamination and exponentially increases your risk of eating something that will make you sick. But it's not just about food safety, it's about what these meats do to your body. A revealing study from the University of Michigan found that processed ground meat products contain 400% more inflammatory compounds than fresh ground meat. And people who regularly eat these products show biological aging markers that make them appear 10 years older at the cellular level. Why is that? Because these meats are loaded with phosphate additives, chemicals used to retain moisture and improve texture. But in high amounts, phosphates damage blood vessels, accelerate vascular aging, and increase the risk of kidney disease, something many seniors are already vulnerable to. On top of that, these products are packed with MSG, yeast extract, and artificial flavors that can trigger inflammation, headaches, and even mood swings in sensitive individuals. The fat used in processed ground meat is often from older animals, with tissue that's been frozen and thawed multiple times, destroying its cellular integrity and making it a breeding ground for harmful bacteria. Food safety data shows these products are 5 times more likely to contain dangerous pathogens like E. coli or listeria compared to fresh, whole cuts of meat. And if that weren't enough, they average 1,000 milligrams of sodium per serving again, nearly half your daily limit, and are often eaten alongside salty buns, sauces, or sides, pushing you well over the safe zone. Let me tell you about Raymond, a 70-year-old retiree from Nevada. He used to eat frozen meatballs and microwave burritos almost daily. After a health scare, his doctor explained how these meats were wrecking his blood pressure and damaging his arteries. He made the switch to buying whole cuts of meat, had them fresh ground by his butcher, and started seasoning them himself with herbs and garlic. The change was dramatic. Within 6 weeks, his blood pressure dropped, his energy came back, and he told us, "I feel like my food finally matches the kind of life I want to live longer, stronger, and clear-headed." So, here's the takeaway. If you want ground meat, make it yourself. Buy fresh cuts, grind them at home or at the butcher, and use real spices, not chemical flavorings. This one shift could add years to your life and life to your years. Now that we've gone through the 4 best meats to eat after 60 and the 4 worst meats to avoid, you've got something most seniors never get: a clear, science-backed guide to choosing the meats that support your health, not sabotage it. Quick recap. Eat more of these: turkey breast, grass-fed beef, wild-caught salmon, wild game like venison, elk, bison. Avoid these: processed deli meats, bacon and sausage, hot dogs, processed ground meat products. Let us know in the comments. Which of these meats do you already eat, and which are you planning to change? Have you experienced any difference in energy, pain, or mood from changing the way you eat meat? And if you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe to Forever Health 247, and turn on the bell for more practical, science-based health tips designed specifically for seniors. We're here to help you stay strong, sharp, and full of life every single day after 60.